Thomas, this is an advanced notion. This is, I was wondering about this, and if you go back and you look at my questions for this were, hey, I've got them right here. My response to your initial post was fantastic. Will you be using the style of the Elements of Euclid, or will you actually be using illustrations from the Elements of Euclid? And it looks like you're going to create your own illustrations. I don't know. It's hard to tell from the sketches. But my comment was that since Brockman was a modernist, is it smart to use, or do you think it's wise to use a serif typeface? And the relevance behind that is, of course, that the modernists used nothing but sans serif, including Brockman. So that is something to consider. Now let's jump over to your sketches, and I really, this is where I really got impressed. I was like, wow, this, and when I say advanced, that's exactly what I mean. I mean using the Elements of Euclid to show the grid structure that the modernists used, and then using a Brockman quote over that. Oh, beautiful. Just wonderful. You actually took it a step further. So fantastic thinking here. I couldn't ask for more here. Now, a couple of comments on your sketches. Let's take a look at your sketches themselves. And I know they're just sketches, but there's a couple of things. This is kind of curious to me because right now you're indicating a sans serif typeface here, but in your report you indicated a serif. This is not accident grotesque, by the way. All right, so I'm confused, or one of us is confused here, because you're saying, I didn't even read this last paragraph close enough to see this. I'm seeing it now that here is an example of accident grotesque. That is not accident grotesque right there. So what is that? That's bizarre, because I want to show you something here, and because it's clearly saying accident grotesque. I want to show you something though. Hang on one second. This is accidents grotesque. Okay, it's not a serif typeface. I'm not real sure how this is happening or why this is happening, because on my system it's clearly saying accidents grotesque, and that is not that typeface. This is accident grotesque. Okay, it's a precursor to Helvetica, so it's a modernist sans serif. Okay, real important stuff right there. Okay, so that, yes, all right, that's great. I just noticed that because I looked over here and I saw that serif typeface that you used in your report, but I'm seeing a rendition of sans serif here, so I was like, wait a second. So even better, even better. So the one thing I want to recommend here is that, since the modernists, Brockman included, were so dependent on the grid, I would use a grid. I don't know if that was your intent or if that is your intent. I would definitely use a grid. Be careful with your type. Alignment was big to the modernists. Left aligned, right rag. This will not fly in when you're trying to represent modernism, specifically Brockman. None of this will, because none of it is aligned. Let me show you what I mean real quick. Let me go jump back here and we'll just say Brockman type. And you can see alignment is king in Brockman's work. Okay, look at that alignment. Very, 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 very heavy dependence on the grid. Okay, it's always left aligned, right rag. All right, so those would be my recommendations. Otherwise, you're doing a fantastic job. Any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else, please let me know, and I'll be glad to clarify. Thanks, man. Good job.